Today is an important day. This is something I've been looking forward to for a while. I'm gonna mock the front end up onto the car today. Now, I wanna get everything prepped and figured out and laid out before we bring the engine and put it in. It's ready to go for the engine, not an issue there, but I haven't actually had this together while the car has been sitting on the truck frame. So I need to figure out how everything is gonna bolt back together again. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna mount fenders on the end of the frame here. So there's definitely gonna be some fab work involved. I don't imagine I will get everything that I wanna get done today, but I'm gonna make some progress. That's the right term to use, progress. And we'll see where we can go from there. So I'm gonna grab the fenders and the grill and stuff like that from the basement, bring them back up, and get to work. So what we've got here, fender itself, inner fender wheel well. This is gonna need some cleaning up. These tubes here were ventilation and whatnot. I'm gonna take those off because we don't need them. I mean, things are a little rough here and there. The beauty of it being, since it is a rat rod, like we always say, I don't think I'll bother fixing this stuff, and I think some of it gets covered up too. So my next step is just to get things cleaned up and organized. Okay, so this is interesting. I basically got this fender hanging on by a thread. Just this one bolt up here. The one thing that I now remember when I took this apart is that the bolt that connects in here snapped, and that's the mounting point, so I'm gonna have to figure that one out. I'll take this back off and get that bolt out of there. It's gonna be some slow going, I think. The other thing too is we're looking at how the tires line up. I think we're gonna be fine there. But I'm just looking at how our front end sits here. Now, by the time you put a couple of the other pieces on and the grill and stuff like that, it probably won't be too bad. So the one fender is on. Just keep my jack stand here to keep things level. Of course, it's pushing up our back of our fender there, but that's fine. We'll fix that gap later. So I was able to just weld the nut onto that broken bolt and pull that out. So I'm gonna try and do the same thing with the other side, get that on, and then I will start fooling around with the inner wheel wells just to see how things line up before I run the bumper across, and then I'm gonna make a list of bolts that I need. And I kind of remember how it goes back together. I can always go back and look at the video, I guess, if I don't, but I'm pretty sure I do. And now two sides on, coming together, looking good. Wheel wells are up next. I don't know how they're gonna sit, but I can put some wood or some metal or something like that in there until I figure out what I wanna do in terms of brackets. And yeah, looking pretty cool, I'd say. Quite happy with this. Okay, wheel well, or inner fender well, whatever you like to call it, it's on. Got it secured with one bolt here, which is fine. That'll do for the time being. There's some holes here that are gonna line up super nice. I've just gotta snip this bottom piece off. As far as putting it back together, all of our bolt holes, I think I can access them through here. Up top, maybe? Yep, I can. So that'll help too. So I won't be able to reach up underneath and put them on from the inside. It's making for a bit tricky, but I think it was easier to put the fender on without that in. I'll probably end up actually, you know what, I will end up taking them off again because we'll probably have them off when we put the engine in, but they'll come off as one piece this time, and then I'll be able to put all the other bolts in and get that all lined up properly. Right now, I just want to get everything setup. So now I've got to go back over and start ripping some stuff off of this side, get this tar off, and start lining stuff up over here. It'll be nice with it being kind of solid. I like that we were really lucky that this basically just lines right up on the frame. We may have to make some adjustments because the engine, once it gets in, I don't know. So definitely that might be a bit of a challenge, but so far this is good. It certainly makes for a lot less messing around and stuff like that. I thought that I would probably have to do a little bit more. So I had a couple holes in this guy. Just did a quick patch job here. Metal was still good around the big holes. What I want to do here is fill this in and make a little foot for it. I don't know if there was a foot there before. I think so. I know it doesn't go all the way back on the driver's side, but that might be because of the steering. But I want to put this on first, then I can make it look nice and maybe flow with the frame in case it dips, because I think it does a bit. But yes, I'm glad I'm putting these on. One thing that I noticed when I was looking earlier is that this is going to have to get cut for the steering, which is fine. We'll have to notch something out there, but it's good because I had wanted to hold off until wiring was 100% done, but I can't really finish wiring until the engine's in. And I was thinking the other day, let's get this mocked up before the engine goes in. Still super easy to pull apart, and I will pull it apart, like I said, to put the bolts and all that stuff in, make life way easier. But right now my job is going to be get this on, make that foot, and then start working on the front, which there really isn't that many pieces left. And there you go. Hard to see around the hoist and the light, but got that front end on. Now it's only held on with about 4 bolts. There's 2 in, actually 6. So there's 2 in this, there's 2 in this, there's 2 in that, oh that's 6, and then there's 2 at the back. So there's 4 in total on the fenders. That is just to mock things up. My next mission is going to be getting this bumper on. That's gonna be a big challenge. It just about fits. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do. What I'm gonna do is, well, to start off with absolutely is I'm gonna take the brackets off and then I'll figure out if I can reuse them or not. I'm also glad that I didn't put the whole front end together because I see that there's some brackets here that go into the corners. It's gonna give us an idea too of how we sit as far as our tires and stuff like that goes. I think that's looking pretty good. I completely forgotten when I taken it apart about this piece here because I was really concerned that the fenders were going to sit too far back. But now that the bumper's on, or the grill is on, and then the skirt is on, it makes me realize that it is the exact perfect spacing. And there you go. Pull the bumper apart. It looks as though the way things are going to go, it's going to stick out way too far by just attaching it here and look weird. Just going to be hanging out in space. So I think what I'm going to do is next episode, we're going to cut these guys down, make some brackets, and mount this up so it is nice and tight. So thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to click that like and subscribe button so you can stay up to date with what's going on. Have a good one.